So don't worry about it. Worst case, I can forward you to the YouTube channel that we have, and you could replay the session later on. All right, well, let's get going then. Hi again. My name is Tomer. I am the product manager here at Powtoon, and this is the weekly first time Powtoonists webinar. So I will walk you through how to create a very simple self-promoting Powtoon that you can then adjust or change it to be promoting something else, your business or a product or anything like that. So bear with me. Something here, I think. All right. So yeah, thanks for joining me. I hope the weather is okay where you guys are. I am based over here in Israel, and this is coming up to nighttime. So let's get going. So the purpose of the session is to show you how to get started with Powtoon. The first thing I'd like to do is I will go back to this screen here, and I'll just see what's going on with this screen. Go to the side. All right. Okay. So the first thing I'll do is I'll just play the Powtoon that I just created. I created it actually a few days ago, and I'll just put it. I'll just pause the sound for a second. All right. So as you guys, if you guys can see this Powtoon being run in the background, it's going to be probably a bit flaky with the based on the bandwidth and the strength of the how fast your internet is. But the whole idea is what we're going to do now is we're going to select a template. We're going to start by creating a first Powtoon and selecting a template that is pretty much has this type of content. And we're going to make some changes. And during the changes, as we're making these changes, you guys can see how easy it is to tweak it. And then you can use those elements and these techniques to actually do whatever Powtoon you want. So I'm sure you've probably played this Powtoon before because you went to the webinar page. So I'll just do that and let it run through, and we can then start doing it ourselves. So this is the first session. It's going to be an easy one. Later on in the next few weeks, hopefully we're going to add a more advanced version of this webinar. So yeah, hopefully you guys can get a lot of value out of this. It's got some issues over there. All right, also I'll pause it here. Okay, I'm assuming some of you guys are existing Powtoon users and some of you are not. But the first thing we'll do is I'll go into what we call a dashboard. And this is my personal dashboard. Okay, so this dashboard has a few other Powtoons that I've created in the past. But I'm going to do now is what I'm going to do now is when you guys first signed up, you will probably get redirected automatically to how to create a Powtoon, the wizard itself. So what we'll do is we will select the social clip. If you guys are able to do this at the same time as you're watching this, as you're attending this webinar, that would be ideal. Otherwise, hopefully you can use this or even replay the webinar, the recorded webinar a bit later. So what we do is we click the social clip and we go and click the resume. All right. And once we're here, we're going to give it a title, my first Powtoon, and give it a date, 4th of February 2014. And we click create. All right, so this is pretty much what the first steps that you'll experience as a Powtoon user, as the first user in the system. We'll give it a minute to load up. Okay, so this is pretty much the basic template for a resume. This is a really good template to get started with because it has a really well thought through content and also some imagery that we can tweak. So bear with me, and if you guys have any specific questions, I'll allow a little bit of time at the end, and hopefully I'll be able to answer some. If we don't have time to answer all of those, I'll leave you my email address, and you can definitely email me some specific questions, and I'll make sure we get back to you, and then sort of within a few days, as you do those. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is when I'm using the editor, I want to get rid of this piece of text because this piece of text is just something that gives me an indication of how to do it. So what I did is I selected it and just hit delete on the keyboard. Okay, it's quite easy. I'll go here quickly just to play this current slides. Okay, and we can then experience. Oh, the sound is on again, so it's a little bit bugging me in my ears. I'll drag it all the way back and play it again. So this is just to experience the first slide, really, of the video clip. So we can see the timer moving ahead, and this is a 13-second long slide. Okay, this is pretty cool. And we kept going to the second slide here. Stop it here and go back to the first slide. All right, so the first thing I want to do, if I'll move this a bit further out, is I want to change this image. Okay, as you've seen in the webinar page, I've got an image of myself and in some sort of an image holder. So what we do is I go and select this character at this point. So I've moved obviously the time slider to a point where I can see it. Another shortcut that I want to emphasize, or you can actually quickly jump to a particular character or asset, as we call them, text, image, or something like that. You have this area here at the bottom where it shows all the elements that appear in this particular slide. Okay, and they're ordered in a way of first appearance. The first element that appears first, and in a descending order, sort of, then they appear closer to the left side. So if I click on this text element as an example, this is representative by the hello. Hang on, let's just do this again. Okay. So this is the actual text element that comes in. Okay, and then straight after that, there is this picto character, which is what we call it. Okay, so it's easy as a guide to actually jump quickly to a particular element. I'll show you another example. It moves the slider straight to the point where it comes in, and we can make some changes to it. Go back to the original task. I'll go and click picto here at the start, and I want to change it to something else. All right, so first thing I want to do, trying to replicate what I've done with the Powtoon on the webinar page. Okay, hang on a second. I'll just go back and try and show you. So if I move this to the start, you can see that I've got my face in something that we call an image holder. So first thing that we need to do is we need to see that this picto character appears between the second and the third second here. All right, so first thing I want to do is I want to delete this character. I select it and I hit delete. And now what I do, I go to the right side and you can see a lot of styles here. I go and I click more under the image holder section. And if I go to this one in particular, it's called Robo Vertical. I hover, I just roll over it and I click it. And then it opens up an image selection, image library sort of thing. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to upload my own photo. I've already done that before. So in this instance, I'll skip it and I'll just scroll down slightly here. Here we go. And I'll click my photo. Click it and hit apply. So as you can see, it added it on the slide. It created its own timeline. It's got from the 3rd second to the 13th second. And now what I want to do is I want to actually put it in place. I'll drag it to be on the left side. And the other thing I want to do is I want to change how the image appears inside the holder. So what I do is I select this element and I use this icon here, which is pretty much, it mimics a cropping and scaling icon that appears in some editors. So I click and I can see the image has some of these pointers at the end, at the edges. I go and I drag and I can enlarge it. And if I go and move the image itself, then it centers it as well. So I can then make some changes to a particular image. If I click outside of it, it will apply the changes to the actual holder. Okay? So now if I go and click this button here, which is to start playing the slider from the start, then I can see that something's changed, but hang on, I've got the image holder and everything with the image, but as you can see, it's out of sync. So I'll pause this. I'll click on the image holder here down at the bottom. And now what I want to do, if you remember, we made a note that the picto character before was between the second, and the third. So I will go to the start of this animation sequence. As you can see, the image holder icon is here. I will drag the start of it left to the second, go to the end of the animation part, drag the last part of it all the way back to the second. And now let's have a quick play again. I'll go to this icon here, play it. And now I can see that it comes in properly. But hang on, it disappears quite quickly. Okay, so what I want to do now is I just pause it quickly, jump back to it. I want to extend. I want it to stay a bit longer. All right, so what I do is I'll extend it to the 5th. So then roughly I'd know it will stay a little bit longer in the sequence. Let's drag this animation handler, I guess, a bit to the left. We don't have to start playing the whole slide from the start. We can just drag it to a point and then hit the play button. Here we go. Easy. All right, that was easy. Now let's carry on. Now the other thing I want to do, I want to make something, I want to change the name, obviously, because the name it's not me. So my name is someone else. So what I can do is I can either, as before, drag the handler back, or I can go and select some of these text icons here at the bottom until it selects the right one that holds the name. Double click and start typing. All right, I changed my name. I changed the name to be my own. And I'll do the same thing again. Drag it backwards a little bit. Play it. Hello, my name is Tomer. That's perfect. So hang on. And I've got the X factor. X factor. All right. I want to change that as well. What I want to do is I'll drag it back again and make some changes to the actual text. All right. So what I do is I will click on this text element here at the bottom. Double click to edit it, and I'll change it to "and I'm a," and click out of it. Now I want to change the X factor text. I will go and click on the strong guy here just to get some sort of reference in the sequence, and I can see that the X factor text appears here. So I'll click one back before it, and that's the X factor. Again, double click it, and I will type product manager. Click out of it, click back, and I can then drag it to the right place. Okay, I want to change the strong guy character again, so I'll click it. I can, hang on, just drag the wrong one. I'll try and drag it properly. I'll move the strong guy here. But now I want to change this icon as well. I want to put here is probably like a presenter, okay? Someone that presents this word, something that's going to make an amazing sort of effect and something that looks really, really cool. So I'll introduce this new icon here. It's called swap. So if you click on swap, what it does, it freezes everything on the editor. And now I can go and play around with my styles, like the other styles in the editor, to try and find something that's more suitable to what I'm trying to represent here, which is sort of like a wow effect. Okay, check me out. So I'll scroll to the right a little bit. I really like one of these styles at the end. It's more of a professional businessy type style. Here we go. It's this one's called Shadow. Okay, what I'll do is I'll find the group called Businessman. Click more. I can scroll down a little bit. There's quite a few characters here. And I will choose, so I really like this guy here, click Businessman. So what it does, it pretty much swaps it in place. Okay, which is cool. Now I'll just position it properly, drag to the right place, and make it a bit bigger. Here we go. Perfect. And now let's play the slides, but not from the beginning. I'll just drag this slider a little bit backwards and play it from this point. Great. Oh, hang on, the character disappeared again. So go back to this character again, come here, and I'll extend it. Let's extend it to the 10th second. Let's see if that works. Drag it backwards a little bit. Play it again. Comes in, product manager. Oh, it's too far out. Do it again. Take it back. Probably around here. Let's do it again. Drag it backwards and play again. Product manager, bam. And disappears. I can even make it a bit shorter. I'll put it back here. Perfect. All right. It's starting to look now. So Now, what we'll do is let's move it to the next step. If I'll skip this part and go further out, I've got this block of text here which says I'm a creative with non-stop bright ideas. I want to change this text. I want to say that I work for Powtoon instead of saying I'm a creative guy. So I'll click the text, change it. I work at. Okay. Drag the actual text elements a little bit out so it fits. Click on creative, change it to Powtoon, make it again a bit wider. Okay, cool. I work at Powtoon, and I want to change this with instead of saying with non-stop bright ideas, I want to say and I love creating awesome presentations. Again, click, double click, presentations. Simple. Okay. Here we go. Love creating. Oh, hang on. I wanted to say also not presentations. That's something that I will do next. Awesome. All right. So let's first look at how do I add some text. So there's this icon here. If I click it, creates a new text box. Double click, I can edit it. I'll type in presentations and drag it underneath awesome. I'll change the size. So I'll go to the top here. It's got 84 pixels. Let's change to 36. Perfect. Now I want to change the color because I don't want it to be red as well. So I'll still keep the text sort of element selected. I'll go to the color area here, click it once, and now let's do it black. Simple. All right, that's pretty easy. All right, so let's now play this whole slide from the start and let's see how it looks. Here we go. We have my photo. It comes in. My name is Tomer, and I'm a product manager. It's perfect. I work at Powtoon, and I love creating awesome presentations. Perfect. Love it. All right. Now, what I want to also do, I want to see if I can add next to Powtoon my logo. All right. So I'll go to this image icon here, click it once, and I can upload another photo, which could be my logo. I've already done that before, so I'll at the moment skip it and just choose it. I've got the Powtoon logo here. Click, apply, and it puts it back in. I'll drag it to place. Okay, and I'll drag the animation slider slightly backwards to see that it all looks okay. Play, work at Powtoon. It's a bit out of sync. Play with it a little bit more. This is the icon that represents the image. I'll start it a bit earlier. Just see if this looks good. Oops, go back a bit. Looks okay to me. Now let's make some changes to this animation. Okay, let's say I want to change. First of all, what I'd like to do is if I choose this guy here, say if we look at the last sequence, this animation, if I drag this slightly backwards, I can see that this guy comes into the scene from the left, and there's a hand that drags it in. If I drag it slowly, as you can see, there's this hand. Now I want to change that. I don't want to see the hand, and I don't want to see this. I want to see the character come in from a different place or using a different effect. So I'll select the elements to make sure that I'm focusing on the right element. And over here on the left, I've got a lot of options. Okay, there's an enter effect and there's an exit effect. Let's say I want to change the enter effect. Instead of coming in from the left, I want it to pop. Okay, we'll see what it does in a second. We've seen it in a few elements before. And I also want to remove the hand. Okay, so I'll click on the hand icon, go back to the slider here, drag it back a little bit. Okay, and now I'll play it. So you see it popped in, and I can't see a hand. There's no hand. Okay, the same, I'll click it again. The same would apply to the exit effect. Exit effect is also represented in this part here. At the moment it exits to the left, and if we can see it here, there's a hand as well. So I drag the slider a little bit, you can see the actual effect happening in slow motion. Drag, drag, here we go. Okay, and at any time, I can pause it here again, and I can change it to something else. I say I want it to go down, and I want to disable the hand as well. Click, drag to see how it looks. There we go. Perfect. All right, some quick tricks on how to do some really cool animations. Perfect. All right, now let's go to the end of the slide, towards the end, 10 seconds, and play it. Okay, here we go, coming up to the end of the slide, and it jumps to the second slide. Another cool feature that we've added recently is something called transitions. If you look on the left here, between the slides, it says no transition. What I want to do is I'll click on the first slide, and I want to add some cool effects, the transition effect, similar to what we have in PowerPoint, and I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with that. So in the styles area, you would see a group called transitions down here at the bottom. Click more, and I have a few options. These are really, really cool effects. They give you such an amazing experience while you're playing this presentation or this video. I really like the squidgy. I'll click the squidgy here. Okay, and if you look at the left, you can see that it says squeegee. Okay, so what I had to do is I had to click on the slide before the transition and then choose the transition. Okay, the animation slider handler thing is on the 10th second. So if I play it here, we can see the effect. Here we go, squeegee coming in and worked. Perfect. Okay, skip to maybe another slide just to show it as well. I can maybe add, there's a roller, which is kind of cool as well. So we're on the third slide, move the animation ticker a little bit further, play it. Here we go, the roller came in. Excellent. That looks really cool. And you can see it's really easy to do it. All right. Now the other thing I want to do is, if you guys do this and play it on your computer, you would hear there's a soundtrack that runs in the background. So to change the soundtrack, it doesn't matter where you are in the presentation or in the video slide, we click sound here. It opens up what we call a sound manager, where you can do two things. One is adding voiceover, which is something we'll tackle in another webinar. But the other thing that is more important now is there's a list of music tracks that is available that you can play. If you click on this play button here, it plays it, and you can have a feel for it. So let's just scroll up a little bit. Once we choose something we like, we just hit add. Now, the important thing to note here is also there's some differences in the licenses that we provide. So there's some free ones, and there's some agency ones and professional ones. Okay, so that's something that you'll have to consider when you, if you'd like to have some additional really, really cool soundtracks. I'll choose the free one for, actually, no, I've got, this demo is with the agency one. Let's have a quick play for this one. I really like this one. Let's do add. It asks you, do you want to override a previous soundtrack? Yeah, why not? All right, we have to wait a little bit. It buffers the soundtrack. Failed _1. That's fine. Done. And then we click apply. Okay, and then it's done. You can replay the whole video or presentation using this button here. Play all slides from start. Perfect. I can hear it. I'm not sure you can, but you play with it later on, and it's a really cool effect. You can also upload your own MP3 files. Okay, so you can do import file and overwrite naturally, and then it would ask you to choose your own file. All right. Perfect. All right, let's move on. So we're doing really well. Now let's go on to the finalizing of this presentation or video. Okay, and I will explain the differences also in a minute. One thing, I just want to do some tidy ups. I'll go to the last slides, which is just, again, some text. I will select it. I can either delete it with the delete button on the keyboard, or I can use the minus button here at the top, which will remove it as well. It automatically jumps to the 7th slide. I'll make some quick changes. Put my name, surname, and email. Perfect. Now that's pretty much done. I'll quickly save it right up here. It's very important to save it regularly, because at the moment the program provides auto backups. So it does save sort of a snapshot every now and then to make sure you don't lose your changes. But if you don't save it, it will keep an older version of it available. Okay, so you always have to make sure that you don't, if you want to make sure that you don't lose anything, you save it frequently. So, okay, assuming we've finished creating our own self-promoting Powtoon, okay, which looks pretty cool. We can make it look even more, but this was really, really quick. I will go here and I'll preview it, okay? I want to go to a page now where I can see it, and then I can share it easily with anyone, friends, family, Facebook, or my blog, or whatnot. So I click the preview button. It takes me to a dedicated page where it shows my Powtoon. It loads it up here. Okay, here we go. And I can play it. Perfect. I can also play it in full screen mode. Click here. There we go. Looks amazing. It's a shame you can't hear what I'm hearing. The soundtrack is really cool. So I went back out of the full screen mode. So there's a few things that you can do here as well. The main couple of things that I'd like to point out is you can use this link here to share it on any platform you wish. If it's Facebook, if it's LinkedIn, send it in an email to a friend. So you can do that by copying this link. You can export this to YouTube, which is a very important feature. I'll click it now just to show you how that works. Okay, I will remove this. So this interface here, it just shows you the current license that you're on, and then the ability to export it to YouTube. Okay, I've got a YouTube account already configured. I will just remove it quickly so I can show you the whole process from the start. Okay, so this is a screen that you'll probably be using initially when you have a free account. So you have upload to YouTube ticked, and you have a free account. Okay, I'll do add YouTube account. You can't see the screen that pops up, but I will choose my account. Just give me a second. It's just going to take a second. It's roughly about 3 screens. Here we go. Done. All right. And as soon as that process is done, it says this is the email address that I've got assigned to the YouTube account. And I will click export. Quite simple. I'll get the message saying it's been exported at the moment. The process for exporting a Powtoon takes sometimes between a few minutes to, as we say here, I wouldn't say 60 minutes, but probably up to half an hour. But it depends on quite a few technical things, also to do with the YouTube API. Okay, I'll close it. And then I will get an email saying that the export has been completed, and also an email from YouTube saying it's been exported to YouTube. All right, so we'll just keep that running in the background, and as soon as I get the email, I will show you the link that I got from it. All right, just give me a second. Let's just do this. Okay, great. All right, so that's that. We do also offer for agency plans the ability to export in high definition. Some of the customers that we have really need a high definition video to show their clients or use it in other sort of marketing activities. So you can also do that. I'll cancel this one at the moment. And you can use an embed code. So if you want to embed Powtoon inside a website or your blog, you will click it here and you will copy this piece of string, which is quite easy. There's a few other things here that you could configure, sizes and so on. Here's a section for sharing it on Facebook, Twitter, and some other ones, which is also important. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Once that's done, you are rolling. You can show it to anyone. So that's pretty good. The last thing I want to mention is going back to the editor. Here we go. That if you see this part here, this component here, it says switch project modes. At the moment, this is on movie. If I click it once, it will be in slideshow mode. Okay, and what it means in slideshow mode, the two things that happen. First, the main thing is you can see that here there's a hold element. And this hold element allows you to put stops in different parts of the animation. All right, I'll just quickly show you how it works. Actually, go back to the first slide. Beg your pardon. And this is very similar to PowerPoint. So in a sense that I'll drag the slider a little bit further out, and before it disappears, before the hello disappears, say the third second, I will click the hold button, and then when I play the slide from the start, it will stop. It will stop at the hold, and then moving to the next operation, the next action will actually carry on the animation. Okay, so that's very important if you want to use the Powtoon as a presentation tool. Okay, so just wanted to make that note. And it's also important to know that at the moment we're working on a very cool new product. It's something that's going to provide a much easier way to create presentations and slideshows. So, watch this space, and you'll hear from us in the next few weeks about that. So let's just go quickly back here, and that's the actual final result. I'll let it play in the background while we talk a little bit more about it. All right, so that was pretty much it for this webinar. I hope it was useful for you guys. So there's just a couple of things that I want to give you before you go. And first of all, thanks for attending. It's been a real pleasure to show you some really cool features in Powtoon and the capabilities, I guess, for something for yourself or for your business. So the first thing is, because you guys came to the webinar, we're giving out 20% discount on all our plans. And so if you use a coupon code, I'll write it in the chat. So hang on a sec. All right, here we go. My first Powtoon. If you use my first Powtoon as a coupon code, if you do decide to purchase either the professional plan or the agency plan, then you'll get a 20% discount. It's also relevant for some of the other plans, but you'll have a play with the upgrade area, and you can look at that. And as you can see here also, I'll just pause quickly. It says here, your Powtoon, my first Powtoon, 4th of February. Hang on. Whoa. 4th of February has been exported to YouTube. All right, and gives you the link. If I click on the link, it takes me to the page on YouTube that has been exported to. This is an amazing feature. I personally really love it because it's like YouTube, it's like the big thing, and you can see your own Powtoon over there. It's really cool. All right, so it's going to play it. I'm assuming in a minute. Coming back here, hang on, oops, sorry. So we talked about the coupon, and the other thing I want to mention is, first of all, the recording of this. So if you guys want to have a look at it again and listen to me explain a little bit about how to create the first Powtoon, then you'll be able to find it in our YouTube channel. On YouTube, this seems to be a bit of a problem here. Maybe it's my internet connection. I hope not. And that's it, really. I'll give you my email address. So if you guys have any questions, so there seems to be a problem with the voice. Maybe I hope it's not causing it. YouTube is not causing these issues. What about now? Can you guys hear me okay now? I hope you can. Can you give me just a thumbs up, or if yes, someone can hear me? Okay, see some people are writing that they can't. And in the meantime, you're on again. Okay, here we go. So you can reach me on my email if you have any questions or if you want some sort of extra instructions about how to do certain things. And the other thing I'd really ask you guys to do, if you wouldn't mind spending a minute or two just answering a few questions of a survey that I've put together, which will tell us if this webinar was useful and if this is something that we would need to strengthen or add or enhance in the near future. So what I'll do is I'll copy this link here. Just give me 1 minute. Here we go. So if you wouldn't mind clicking the link, there's a few questions, probably 3-4 questions. That would be really amazing. And that's it. So hopefully in this sort of 30 minutes, you were able to have a bit of an experience of how to very quickly create a very cool self-promoting Powtoon. And yeah, do you guys have any questions? I'll try and answer a couple. I don't know if I'll be able to answer all questions. So if you guys want to ask me a few, I will try and answer that. And otherwise, you can email me directly, and I'll make sure we get you some answers. Okay, there's one question. The link is not clickable. Interesting. I just clicked it now. Should work. Okay, the link should work. And even if you can't copy it, I'll tell you, if you're 32, if you want to, I'll just type it here. If you want to send me, email me, and I'll email it to you. And that would be awesome, unless if it's not too much trouble. All right. Can you use the embedded code on our website on the Pro version? Sure, absolutely. The embedded code you can use anywhere. What it means if you have a free account versus something else like a Pro or agency is that you will have either a watermark, a Powtoon watermark, and you'll have some other limitations of length. The free account has a 5-minute limitation, 5-minute length in duration, and Pro has a very long one. It's not limited to 5. Sort of, you can do almost whatever you want. Cool. Thanks, You're 23. That's a pretty cool tool. And one is that only from you can they all use it? If you want to view 14, if you want to use it with your students, we have a special license for it. If you purchase a classroom license, then you have the ability to add additional students. They can share sort of share Powtoons, but definitely you can share with your username at the moment. It's not ideal, but they can use, if that's what you mean, like your username to view those Powtoons. Unless you mean something else, unless you mean collaboration or editing, and that's something that I'll have to explain it to you in more detail, and it's something that we're planning to introduce in the next a couple of months. Okay, very cool. Up to how many? 14. The classroom account allows you up to 30 students, but you can add additional ones. If you check out the upgrade or the pricing page, you can see that you can purchase additional 30 for extra $5. And you can also, if there's a really, really big bulk of students that you want to use, we can also talk about it in person and see if we can do something. What is the difference between split and swap? It's a good question. Swap, it gives you, let's have a quick look. Here we'll be able to show it. Okay, hang on a sec. Let's just pull up a good image. We might have an issue with the split at the moment, so let me just quickly check that. Yeah, I think it might have a bit of an issue. What it should do, it might be okay. Hang on. It's been exported to YouTube. That's cool. All right, yeah, it did work. All right. So what split does, it splits the animation in half, and it allows you the option to put another one instead. So that is really useful for if you want to do some transitions, like really cool transitions that are not available as one animation, then you can use the splits. Okay, so if you look at it again, before this character went all the way through to 11th or something seconds, and once we hit split, then it splitted it and it added something different instead. So I'll just try and do that again just to show you. I'll extend this. We go here and we do split, and we'll choose a building. Okay, so you can see that it added the building at the point where we try to do the split. Here we go. All right, cool. Any more questions? Okay, looks like you guys are okay. So, all right, let's wrap it up. And that you guys joined me tonight. I'd really appreciate if you guys could spend a little bit of, a couple of minutes on the survey. It's a very, very, very quick one, 3 or 4 questions. And otherwise, fire me emails with questions or suggestions if you have anything that you would like to improve or change. And yeah, and we'll see you hopefully in Powtoon if you're not Powtoon users. And otherwise, we'll hopefully see you again soon when we look at more advanced features and the new products. So thanks, guys, and yeah, have a good day. All right, see you later.